Let's talk about self-reliance. In need of nothing and no one, or at least as close to as is comfortably possible. Because you're only an off-grid purist until a rattlesnake bites you or your dog. There are things I simply can't deal with by myself. Likewise, there are things that I don't want to deal with. Sewage definitely being one of them.
This week's all about the septic. Some of you may remember from a few episodes ago that while the septic was being installed, I was having a meltdown. So I didn't get a lot of talking head recordings, catching me reacting to the septic going in, what it entailed, what the process was, and how it was kind of being done. I was too busy spiraling. What I figure I'd do is today, while I clean up the trailer here, the storage trailer has become our new catch-all. Previously it was underneath the living trailer. Now the storage trailer has just become anything that can't go on the dirt comes in here. And in addition, we just got back from picking up Emma, my mother-in-law, Athena's mother, from Washington. We visited a bunch of friends and family on the way up and on the way down, and each of them had a treasure trove of gifts that they'd been collecting in order to help on the homestead. To that end, when we came back, we had a car packed to the brim full of more than useful items, ones that I was not willing to leave behind. So the car was packed to the gills, and we managed to get it all back down here to Golconda. So Athena and Emma are spending the day picking up the trailer, and in the interior, I'm going to focus on getting the storage shed up to par, and I've also been tasked with making sure that I finish enough footage today so that I can begin editing tonight rather than waiting till Sunday and being crammed. What I decided to do is kill two birds with one stone and clean up the storage trailer and get it all organized at the same time as I explain the process of the septic and what it entails.
While Emilio was getting ready to place our septic, I was in Winnemucca cursing my luck and buying a new generator. This is our last utility and the culmination of our entry into the homesteading lifestyle. Luckily, Athena was on site and focused, and we were in good hands with Emilio's company Magana & Sons, who specialize in foundations. With that experience, he knew exactly how to handle the project and was quick in its execution, which was awesome. We told him what we wanted and what we planned to do down the line. He took notes while nodding, asked a few questions, and sent over a quote a few days later. When it comes to septic tanks, there are a few choices to make. What size tank do you want? What materials are you looking for? And what kind of drainage system do you prefer? Size is pretty easy. Bigger is almost always better. Generally, if you have 5 people or less living on property, you'll want a 1,200 gallon tank, which is great because I don't want to call it the industry standard, but you'll find that most suppliers carry this size in abundance. As for materials, plastic is king right now, at least in northern Nevada. Concrete is heavier, longer lasting, and more durable, but it's also prone to gunk buildup and out of fashion in the area, making it cost 3 times the amount. And I'm learning that near universally, water tanks cost about $1 per gallon. So our 1,200 gallon tank, $1,200. The last decision is drainage, but I want to talk about that when the pipes are being installed, so more on that later. So we went with a leach line. The other option is a filter, and there's some pros and cons here. The filter is a better system in general, but if you're near a water table or anywhere you fear contamination, it's your only option. It has a much smaller footprint, but it requires more maintenance, costs considerably more, and usually needs a power source. A leach line is passive, meaning no power required. It's also durable, we can drive over it, and in northern Nevada's soil, it'll keep working for decades before needing any attention. When the leach line was finished, Athena talked to Emilio about how we planned on running a line from the trailer to the septic. We'd come out from behind the trailer, turn, then run a straight line down to the tank. The natural slope of Titaz would finally come in handy and give us the grade we want for the line. After giving it a look, he offered to dig the trench for us. Athena called me, and my first question was, how much? But Emilio waved the question away. He wasn't going to charge. He then used the 3 extra pipes he'd brought for the leach line to start running our line up to the trailer and gave us an extra clean out he'd had from a previous job. You know, I continue to be shocked by the level of genuine humanity still thriving in rural Nevada. There is an innate understanding that because life is a little harder, as people, we treat each other a little softer. Before he left, we asked if we could hire him to finish laying the line he'd started and also dig the trench that will run from our water line to the trailer, as well as laying the pipe. He said it wouldn't be a problem, and all we had to do was send the measurements to his wife, who is his right hand. Athena and I ran the math on this ourselves. Renting equipment alone was going to be $1,200, plus materials, and then finally time and energy. We decided that if the quote was under $4,000, we'd consider it, and under $3,000, we'd take it. The quote was $1,500 all in, an amazing price. And with the inspector's eventual approval came our final push towards settling this property.
And that was it. You know, as he was leaving, in that moment, had reached a point that we had been talking about, dreaming about, and working towards for the better part of 4 years. We packed up all of our stuff, our pets, our loved ones, and we hauled them 627 miles north to the property. And now 3 months later, we have water we can bathe ourselves in, drink, and use for cooking. We have solar that we can use to power our trailer, charge our batteries on our electronics and our tools, as well as use to heat and cool ourselves and power the internet. And now we have the ability to go to the bathroom. But now that we have the ability to use our own restroom, you know, the joke has been that we can now go to the bathroom with the light on while browsing the internet. So with the basic utilities on the way, what's next? Well, immediately what's next is we're going to be upgrading our solar. You know, solar's only been up for a week, and already what we've been finding is the panels don't produce enough power, the batteries don't hold enough power, and our system just in general is kind of lacking. Now we can conserve and get the trailer to have power 24/7, but it means running things piecemeal and being very conscious of what we do and don't use. And that's not the goal. The goal is to use our power like we use our water, like we use our plumbing, in the same way that we're not thinking about it. It's just a utility that has access, and whatever we want to take out of it, it's ready to give. So here's what we've kind of figured out about the power. During the day, your solar panels are producing, our solar powers at full sun are producing around 190 volts. The batteries take about 53.3 volts as they're charging, but the inverter won't send power to the batteries unless it's receiving at least 150 volts. So we're just clearing that by about 40 volts right now, and that's on full sun. When it gets cloudy and that thing dips below 135 volts, we're not charging anything, which is kind of an issue. So our plan right now is to add 10 additional panels to PV2, all on a single series. That'll put 400 volts into, that's 400 peak now. Look, you woke up the old man. Now he thinks something's up. Nothing's up. Nothing's up. Yeah, she's just paranoid. You're paranoid. You're paranoid. You hear me? She thinks everyone's an enemy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Thank you. Is that on purpose? Huh? Huh? Without having to conserve. Hey, do you mind? Girl? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She's barking at him. She's at him. Don't. Hey. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're so jealous. You're so jealous. Huh? Come over here. Come over here. Come here. I know it. I know. Thank you. I know. Well, it doesn't seem like they're gonna let me get this finished, so suffice to say, we're ordering new solar. We're ordering an upgrade to our solar, and we'll show that when we get it.
4 years ago, this was a pipe dream. 3 months ago, a wilderness. Today, it's finally a home. I won't claim victory out here until we've survived our first winter, but with this final utility online, I will say, it's starting to feel like we live here.